So apparently this is supposed to be a Christmas present for me that somebody left lying around the house. And I was like, oh, cool. So I looked at it early. Shh. Although not so early because it's 2020 and it actually starts in January of this year. So I'm only getting 3 years out of this. But never fear. It's still a pretty cool book. So, not to show everything in this book, but it has a whole pile of charts, star charts, like pages and pages and pages of star charts, which are pretty cool. So it's going to allow me to figure out where stuff is. It has all the major meteor showers in it. That's actually, wow. Planetary highlights, a couple other things. And then it has a huge section in the back, which basically tells you where all the planets are supposed to be, what they're supposed to look like, and yeah, some other fun data about when you should be looking at them and when not to. And it's like pages and pages because each page is like 10 days. So it goes on for quite some time, like a long time. These are a lot of pages of stuff. And then we get to the end eventually, because again, this is 4 years. And, oh, okay, that's the end of the book. There's actually a little section there, right at the end here. Where is it? Where, yeah, so it talks to you, it's glossary. So all those cool astronomical terms that you hear people throwing around at like star parties or in your Zoom chats or meetings and whatever else, and you're wondering what does that mean, you can check it out at the back of the end of the book. It's probably in here. Otherwise, they're probably talking complete hooey. So yes, the astronomers, I can't even say it. The Astronomical Almanac. It's actually quite an interesting book. Definitely something to consider getting the astronomer in your family, especially if they do planetary or if they are like nerdy on where stars are and trying to find like the really, really, really small stuff and things that you have to like, you know, be there or be square because it only happens maybe once or twice a year or maybe like one of those things in a 4-year cycle. Oh, wow. There's cool highlights and stuff in here. There's just insane amount of data. Oh my goodness. Which brings me to one little note. So one thing that's happening this month is that Jupiter and Saturn are going to be getting really close. It's called the Great Conjecture or Conjugate, I don't know, conjugal visit. That is not what it's called. No, it's called the conjunction. There we go. I knew I was going to get that word eventually. So it's called the Great Conjunction, and it happens about every 20 years, although it's not always visible from Earth because it normally happens during the day, given that Jupiter and Saturn tend to have to be on the far side of the planet for this to happen. Obviously, as they circle around, it will move from the day to the night. So it's going to happen again, I think, in another 20 years. So what is it? It's Jupiter and Saturn getting really close to the sky. How close? 0.1 degrees, which is about 6 arc minutes. And that's pretty cool. So I'm going to show it to you here. And this is from Sky Safari. I just went and zoomed in, picked the right date. It's at 5:30 my time when this is going to happen. Although obviously it's going to happen about 5:30 for everybody, give or take your time zone changes. And it's basically going to happen right after dusk. So you need to make sure that you're set up before the sun goes down. Don't point your telescope at the sun without any coverings, optics, etc., because it's still the sun. And yeah, you can see it. It's going to be really close. I know for me, I'm going to be using 200 millimeter Edge HD with a full frame camera. You're going to have to play around to see what you can get, both Saturn and Jupiter in frame, as close as possible, obviously. But you do want to get it where you have all the moons, the Saturn, the planets, and you're going to want to take one long exposure to get all the moons, and then you're going to want to take shorter exposure or video to try to get both Saturn and Jupiter. And you may have to cut those videos off and then process each one separately. You'll have to figure it out. It's going to be crazy, but yeah. So it's going to be low in the horizon in the southwest, so that's an important note to take, that you might not be able to image it from your regular location, and you're going to want to clear low horizon. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This video is, because I'm wearing a Santa hat, part of my Vlogmas 2020, which you can see the rest of the videos here. And of course, as always, give the video a like, comment below anything you think about, and I'm always happy if you subscribe to the channel. Clear skies.